And no Nicole today, as you know.
Correct.
And I've not heard anything from Dunaway, so I assume we have a Dunaway. Oh, and I assume we have a Babel Royale.
Yeah, you have it in the notes there.
I do. I just hadn't gotten.
Oh, the actual contest.
The
Got
content.
it.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
There's one. Actually, I'm going to print it because it's a really, really good one for us.
Is Jeannie in the chat right now?
Yeah. Well, I think so.
Jeannie, yep, there she is. You're the best. She went and found. So I'm combining these Discord channels now. I just now saw her message, but she went and found all of the film recommendations that people made on the old channel and their name and who recommended them, and then sent them to me so that we didn't lose those.
All of the so all the film recommendations, the film sack recommendations,
that everybody put together, because we had a whole group where people would recommend films, and here they all are. You know what I'm gonna do, Gene? I'm gonna stick them in the recommendations list. Some recs from the old server. That was super cool of you to do that.
That is super cool.
Oh, your message has to be shorter? Really? That's dumb.
Shorten that message, Scott.
Dumb. Hold on. I know they had limits on here. All right, so let's do this. Let's take half of that. We'll go down to there. This take me just a second. Nothing too bad. And we take this down to there. There. That all fit.
Cool.
Thanks, Jeannie. That was awesome. Very kind of you to do that.
Super cool. Super cool.
Turns out Jeannie's nice. She's nice, it turns out.
I know, right? It took us a long time to finally figure that out.
To accept her for who she is. All right. Let's do this then. Showy McShow time. We need to get that there. Okay, we're good. I think we can go. Here it is.
Okay.
It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream. It cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
I'm a man and I ride a bicycle.
The morning stream creams your skin while you wash.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TMS. It is the morning stream for Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. Scott Johnson here. Brian Ibbett there.
Yes. Hello, Scott. How are you?
Guten Tagen. I'm good. I'm all right.
Happy hump day.
Thanks, man. I think I'm okay. I got a question for, you know what? Maybe this is for Dan on Friday. Maybe I'll hold this question. I've been
needs to get looked at or addressed before then.
I have Benadryl questions about how Benadryl works. Because
Benadryl. How does it work?
Exactly. So we'll get him in here. He'll hear this because he listens to the show, and he'll say, "Ooh, what do you got?" And then I'll give him a preview, and then on Friday he'll come in, and then we'll talk about this miracle drug that is Benadryl. Because I have some things I want to ask about it, because I don't truly understand it. Anyway, we're back where we had a day since we saw you guys last on this show.
Good.
And it was a good day. Had a fine day. It was.
I feel like we should have the ice cube song in the background. It was a good day.
It was a good day. Last night I almost had I almost got flying in Draenor.
Oh, really?
BFA. Can you believe I'm even doing that?
Are you serious? I don't even have. In BFA.
Yeah. The new
game. BFA.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I don't even have flying. How'd you zip past everything with the flying? It feels like you haven't been in the game in forever.
I have been cramming for weeks now. Since I don't know if you remember this, but when Classic came out, all it served to do was get me back into the main game, like hardcore. So like I've been playing every night, grinding out rep, doing all my stuff. I've been in, and I'm almost there.
I guess it's just Raid that we never see you in.
Yeah, you never see me in Raid. Although maybe it's time for me to get back in Raid, because I am having a good time, and And
Of course, it's time for you to get back in raid. It's always time for you to get back in raid. Come on.
inadvertently, just by playing, I have increased my gear level to a respectable. I mean, you guys would still have to carry me a little bit, probably. I don't know, but doing okay that way. But,
I imagine you probably surpassed me in gear level. Like the only times I ever play are raid. Like that's the only time I ever get into games.
Do you know what your eye level is right now? Do you know it?
No, I don't. I want to say it's something like 410 or 415 or something.
I think I'm about where you are. I don't think I'm too much. I might be a little behind you still. Even I'd have to look it up, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird how much I'm into that grindy stuff all of a sudden, and I usually hate it. So don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
There I am every day grinding it out. All right, we got
every day I'm grinding.
There you go. Yeah. We get feedback on the show occasionally about things we talk about in real time, and I didn't want to let this one go because I think this is indicative of the entire will we have our own cars in the future or will it all be automated argument that we had. And because we talked about it yesterday, we got an email from Brandon who wrote in pretty much immediately and says, "Good morning, Scott and Brian. Cars are more than just a way to get from point A to B. The draw and beauty of a cell phone vehicle is the freedom it brings." Hold on, we need better music for this. I'm gonna find.
I was gonna say, do you have a Bob Seger singing "Like a Rock"?
Oh, I wish I had that one. I wish I did, or get us kicked off of YouTube. But anyway, the draw and beauty of a cell phone vehicle is the freedom it brings.
Dearest Martha. Why are we doing the Dearest Martha?
It's always my go-to for some reason.
Okay.
Right. I can at any moment stop what I'm doing, load up my family, and just go anywhere a road will take us. I don't have to wait to be picked up, worry that the driver is going to be sane, worry what happens if my kid makes a mess. It's my vehicle. I have a young child, and I know his car seat is safely installed. I know the car is well maintained, as I do it myself. I can keep things I only need for travel in the car and not need to think about it every time I leave the house. And self-driving technology sounds great on paper. Relax all the way to your destination. For many, this will really be revolutionary, and also a safe option if they are tired, drunk, angry, or just distracted in general.
Bring me, you're tired, you're drunk, you're angry, or you're just distracted.
I love it. This should be the new Liberty thing. That's great.
It should, yes, exactly.
He says, I though, enjoyed driving, seeing the scenery change, even over the same roads I take daily. So long as that it continues to be an option, I'm fine with self-driving cars joining us on the road. I will never be free of the concept of not having the option to own a car.
Fine with the concept.
Fine with the concept of not having an option to own a car. As many tech journalists seem froth over, I know there are many people who don't own them. I know many who can't afford it or just don't want to. I say we can all exist in equilibrium, have the car services for those who don't want ownership or can't afford it. I'll keep on my path with others like myself. One thing for sure, though, let's keep making them better for the environment. They're not going away anytime soon, so let's make them cleaner. Love the show, though. Yours truly, Brandon.
Love it.
All right, so I actually want to address this because he makes interesting points, and I understand the draw. I understand it. But his statement at the top, I just have to take umbrage with this again. Ooh, I've used umbrage twice in 2 days. Holy crap.
Yes.
Hold
Dolores will be proud.
Wait, was her last
you
name
say it
umbrage?
3 times and a lady in a pink suit shows up and wraps your knuckles with a wand.
Was it Professor Umbridge? You're right.
Dolores Umbridge.
Yeah, that was her name, yeah.
That was
For a minute, it didn't sound right.
Out.
I had to say professor to hear it right in my head for some reason.
Professor Umbridge.
She was a brat, dude. I hated that lady.
She was. Yeah.
Anyway, he says that cars are not just a way to get from A to B. Well, originally that was the whole point. Like their transportation, it is kind of that. It is a way for you to make larger distances. When man had no, reliable transport back in the early days of humanity, you had a much smaller world because you couldn't get very far. But then cars made it so you could go much farther. We've attached all of this other stuff to it. The scenery, and then like the long drive, and I like the feel of the wheel in my hand, and all that stuff. That's stuff we've added to this relatively in the context of human history. We've just added that fun to the driving. We've just done it.
We'll throw in, cars are a place to get busy with the wife when your son and his girlfriend move back to the house after being moved out for a little while.
Wow,
that's another purpose of the car.
This is an odd bit of revealing truth that we're hearing right now.
Kidding. Dude is like, what are you talking about, Brian? We don't do that.
I mean, I also have. I guess what I'm saying is he's proving my point though, because society is going to go away and he's going to resist it. So my point yesterday wasn't so much about driving; it's about anything we glom onto as our world, and now you're changing it. That's when we get all old man about it and start fighting it, and that's going to be his. That's going to be his hill to die on. For me, it'll be
mine too. I love having a car. Again, I'm a fan of road trips. I like hopping in the vehicle, and if the time comes where it's a self-driving car and rideshare economy, sign me up for rideshare so that I can have that experience of driving a car around, because I still enjoy.
All right. Well, what if it's a combo? What if you still own your own car, or that's always an option, but the car just does it all? It just drives for you. Now, the option could be to take control and just drive it if you want to. But for the most part, you could just say, all right, we're going to Vegas. And for the next 10 hours, you can sleep, talk, play cards, drink, eat, do whatever you want, and not worry about the road at all.
I'd love that. And what I would do is probably, like, on those long, boring straightaways, the car would do all the work. When we get to places like St. George or things like that, let me take over and let me have control of it. Or if we go through a city, even if we're staying on the highway, we're going through a city, I want to be in control.
I get that.
But 90% of the drive, sure, sign me up for having a bite, playing some cards, doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these cars, by the way, and I don't even know if I think it might even be all of them, they have a sensor in the wheel that if you have to still have your hands on the wheel. So this guy that fell asleep while he was driving, that they showed the video of, I don't know how he kept the hand thing, because it didn't look like he had his hand still on the wheel.
Well, that was a change, wasn't it? Wasn't that a mandatory firmware update thing? Because I think before that you didn't have to have your hand on the wheel.
You didn't have to have that? Okay, so at the time that one was made, maybe.
I feel like I read a thing that said freaking Tesla's going to make it so they all have to do this now or something, and I don't think there's an actual law about it or whatever. But
new deal.
Here's the thing, though. So the people that make the argument that it's about the drive. I like the drive. Okay, all that. The minute teleportation becomes a thing, y'all aren't going to say, well, let's take the 10-hour drive to Vegas. You're going to get in the teleporter.
Well, of course.
Right, because suddenly your nostalgia for the long drive and the road trip's going to go out the door. It's going to go out the door.
No, but it's not apples to apples. If the teleportation took 10 hours from Denver, or let's say it took 6 hours from Utah, would you still do the teleportation, or would you do the vehicle?
Oh, well, yeah, no, exactly. Teleportation has to be, the whole point of teleportation is to be instant. The minute it's instant, then what do you need to drive it for? But what we're saying
is that replacing cars with self-driving cars doesn't make the trip faster.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's, if the teleportation still took 10 hours, I think I'd still take the car. What am I going to see for those 10 hours?
Well, if the teleportation,
stars whizzing by my face, or
the
Dr. McCoy's butt, I don't know.
In a fully automated self-driving car world, though, it would be faster, because not only would speed limits be raised because everything's automated and all working together, kind of like they were in Minority Report. The cars are just sort of, hovering around each other, and they know where each other are. So in theory, I'd be driving to Vegas at 95 instead of whatever we're locked in at now, 65, 80 or whatever it is.
75 during some of those.
Yeah. So you would have less. The only stops would be you saying, "Car, pull over," and then pull over, pee, get in, get out, and keep going. And maybe some of these cars have a little pee hose in them. You just just pee in the hose.
Just like clamp on like a little catheter.
Yeah, I think that's
convert your pee into fuel.
Stadium Pal or whatever.
You still wouldn't pee in a car. You've peed in the car, but
I have
you'd be like, I can't pee in a car, Kim. I can't do it. I can't pee in a car.
I can do it. I can't. I had to do it twice, but I had no choice. If I have a choice, I'm not peeing in the car ever. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to say about this, but I'm just saying, if teleportation was suddenly a thing, meaning instantaneous teleportation, no one's going to give a shit about their car anymore. You just teleport everywhere.
Right.
And if there are endpoints, start points, and endpoints everywhere, So like everything just had a standard endpoint, like the mall and the store and the thing and the stuff. Everything had a teleportation, and you could just from your house go, hey, I'm going to go to Vegas for the next 2 hours. You just go. Boop. You'd be over there. So you'd gamble, screw around, come home whenever you want. Like that's. Then we don't care about cars.
We're talking more the Brundle, Seth Brundle's teleportation as opposed to the Star Trek teleportation that can just beam you anywhere. This would have to be like you'd have to have one of these compatible pods.
Oh, good point.
In all these locations.
Good point. I don't know. Which would you prefer? I don't know which one of those is better. Probably the Star Trek one's better, right? Because you can go anywhere.
Star Trek would be better because you can just say, "Oh, beam me to Twin Peaks Mall," or "Beam me to the Cosmopolitan," or beam me to the Salt Lake City in the Utah, the Clip Clop.
They'll have to be really smart though, and not suddenly like if they don't know that somebody put up a
wall.
Well, if somebody put up like a wet floor sign warning. And
right.
Your computer doesn't know.
Yeah, we can't even get Google Maps to keep track of which restaurants are still open.
Yeah.
How are we going to do that with teleportation? It's going to have to be a lot more well-maintained.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to have a careful wet floor sign embedded in your knee, in your shin for all time.
Exactly.
So
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, no kidding. We're going to have like a little zone. Keep this zone clear.
Right.
Maintained by a security guard or something, because you could just see somebody like playing a joke and saying, I'm gonna put a thimble in that little spot so that when they teleport in, they're gonna have a thimble in their foot.
I mean, I'm still of the impression or a belief that Dr. McCoy was all stressed about teleportation in the first bad Star Trek movie because we should be wary. We got to think about those things before we put that stuff in. Remember that somebody got teleported over to the Enterprise and it was like they just looked like meat stew laying there. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, they were just a pile of goo. Plus, Dr. McCoy's teleportation took 10 hours, and you were just staring at the void for 10 hours waiting to get to the.
Oh, that would suck so bad. if that was the thing, if teleportation took the same time a car took to get to someplace in 10 hours,
yeah,
you would need the ability for that technology to put you to sleep during that time.
Yes, exactly. You need to be unconscious for it.
Bruce Willis inside of the luxury spaceship in
Lost in Paradise.
Yes, Lost in Paradise. It has to be like that.
Lost in. Hold on. Let's do this right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Lost in Paradise.
You hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Is that the wrong movie though? It's the wrong movie, I think.
Wrong movie, right guy.
Yeah, right. I watched him again in. I think I told you I went on a little Tarantino trip, and I ended up watching Jackie Brown again, and I forgot in the beginning of that movie he's the dude that gets shot in the trunk. Remember that part where like?
No, I think I've only seen Jackie Brown a couple times, and it's been years since I've seen it. That's one I do need to see again.
That movie.
The guy who gets shot in the trunk is Chris Tucker?
Yeah, Chris Tucker's in there, and it's so Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury, takes the car and acts like he's going to drive real far with it, but really just turns around the corner and comes back around the other side of the fence, opens the trunk, and you hear Chris Tucker go, "Blah, blah, blah, blah," and then pop, and he's dead. It was pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
That's great.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for your email. Much appreciated, and we will continue to argue about this stupid car thing probably for a long time to come. So thank you very much. All right. Brian Dunaway in his house.
Yes.
Shortly. Boy, Discord is being really weird with me today. Not sound.
Pen. I'm going to use a red pen on this one today because your answers, there are 2 pages of possible answers today.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
That's intense.
Wait till you hear this category. This should be a lot of fun.
I'm a little nervous about this. All right.
Yeah.
Brian Dunaway, you there?
Oh, excuse me. Oh, hi, Scott and Brian.
Oh, good. Now I can play this.
Hello, welcome to Flim season.
Flim season. Yeah, you get gnarly allergies in the fall, don't you? That's a thing with you.
Yeah, I live amongst the tree people, and pollen, it be here.
Yeah. We're having it too. It's not as bad, I think, as you're getting it, but we get a fair amount of it, and I have been sneezing like a racehorse.
That's because that's what they do. It's like,
when I was growing up, it was always my dad would always use a racehorse for the thing. So if he said, "Oh, I gotta pee like a racehorse," or I gotta sleep like a racehorse.
That's the one we all know and we're familiar with. I don't know about sneeze like a race.
Yeah. I thought it was a Russian racehorse. Is it okay?
Oh, really?
I don't know why I don't know why I heard it was a Russian racehorse, but that's just always been. I don't know. That's just
Too much hassle.
There.
The Russian ones.
too much hassle.
Hey, it's good to have you here. It's Brian
Too much
Dunaway,
White
everybody.
Castle.
Yes, too much White Castle is never good for the soul. You're here to play Babel Royale. That means that we will have listeners also playing with us today. In fact, I think we already have somebody ringing in, which should be fun. We'll find out who this is. We'll talk about what they could win and all those fun things in a moment. Hi, good morning. Who's this?
This is William Madison.
Well, hello, William Madison. William Madison, your name is familiar, and I feel like I should already know where you're from, but tell us where you're from.
Well, that's because he sounds like he's a president.
Yeah, he does sound a little bit like that. Maybe that's it. It was one of those presidents from the other day.
Right. Are you from Washington, D.C., William Madison?
Yeah, jeez.
No,
Billy Madison. Good point, Dice
Oh,
Tomato.
Billy Madison, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Dolly
No,
Madison.
from Portland, Oregon.
Ah, Portland.
I am
Oregon.
the blind listener.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, right.
You know what's throwing me is you have kind of a cool radio quality to the sound of your call. It's a different sound than we're used to, and it threw me. But yeah, that's how we know you. The land of fancy donuts. Welcome to the show again. It's good to have you here.
Absolutely.
Dude, you sent us a video. You sent us a video last week or a couple of weeks ago of your Toastmasters speech. Number one, I'm really impressed with the fact that you're doing that. It feels like something I need to do, because no problem doing shows like this, streaming on the internet and stuff like that. But you put me in front of a crowd and I stress out all the way up until I'm sitting at that podium, at that desk or whatever, and then I feel completely fine.
Yeah.
But I need to. It's that
Toastmaster.
the waiting until you do that. So kudos to you and great speech.
Yeah, good job, man.
Toastmaster General.
Thank you very much. I wanted to say to the Tadpool.
Yeah.
I went through a very, very hard time, and I want to thank you all for your support. You know, just in the thought. Thank you very much for all the support and helping me get through.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I really appreciate it.
No, that's great. Well, then
I love you all. Thank you very much.
No, that's super sweet of you. We should all we should eat toast and be Toastmasters together today.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I think. Well, good deal, William. It's good to have you here. Brian's going to explain these rules. I know you've heard them before, but we do it for the benefit of everyone and what you could win. Brian?
For sure. William, I'm going to be giving Scott and Brian a topic. They're going to go back and forth giving me answers that fit that topic. If one of them gives me a wrong answer, they repeat an answer, or they hem and haw, and they don't use their Toastmaster skills. I don't know what the answer is. The win will go to the other player. That's hemming and hawing right there. That was the actual description of hemming and hawing.
Yeah.
William, your job is to predict who's going to come out on top based on today's topic. Today, you are playing for a pair of CDs from Dizzybox 9 and Trend Selva, both artists that we've featured here on Indie in the Middle. Two artists also that got a lot of great feedback from listeners, and I love these guys, so I couldn't be happier that they sent me a big box of CDs to give away.
Nice.
Here's the topic. They need this. This is what they crave, this topic. This is going to make you hungry.
No.
This one comes to us from Lon Koenig, Schnago in the chat.
Yep.
The Minnesota State Fair is known for having nearly every kind of food on a stick.
Okay.
Oh.
Lon searched the official list of over 400 food vendors and came up with the list of foods served on a stick for the Minnesota State Fair in 2019. This year's Minnesota State Fair. For the purposes of this game, we're going to omit foods that have their own stick, like lamb chops, turkey legs, and corn on the cob. Yes, corn on the cob is considered to have its own stick.
I would have considered those sticks. I consider those leg bones and other
Well,
things.
that's what we're saying. We're omitting those that have their own
Gotcha.
stick. We're also skipping all types of hot dogs and tubular meat products because I don't want to have to scan a giant list. That leaves...
Wait a minute.
35.
If you're an 80s kid, tubular meat product means
Tubular
something
meat
totally
products.
different. Yeah, it means something different. Anyway, go ahead.
That's my head. I'm so wasted. That leaves 35 types of food served on a stick. There are a few in here that I say are less, or that I want to go even more granular on. So I currently have a list here of 71, but some of these will get multiple. When you say one, it might take multiple off of these.
But the stick is an operative thing here. It has to be on a stick.
Yes.
Okay.
Food on a stick.
All right.
Yes.
Can't just be a
Has
churro.
to be on a stick.
Yeah.
Has to be on
So
a stick.
there's not a lot of stuff like, like kebabs where it's like some kind of weird name, like the Minnesota steak kebab or nothing
No,
weird.
in
Okay.
this- in
So
that
you're
case,
just
you would
talking
just
about
say-
basic foods.
Yes, you would just in that case you would just say kebab.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. No,
But,
that's helpful.
but not wiener meat.
No wiener
We've
meat.
excluded wiener meat.
No hot dogs or
Okay.
brats or things like that.
No tubular meat. Yeah.
No tubular
No
meat.
tubular meat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A series of tubes. And no food that's got its own built-in stick like turkey legs, lamb chops, etc. And
Right.
corn on the cob.
Right.
All right, we good?
Yep.
All
we're
right.
Good.
William, now that we have gone over the minutia of what constitutes food on a stick, who do you want to go first, and who do you think is going to take this thing home?
I will say Scott, and then I will say Brian goes first.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put down a Toastmasters challenge. So one of the things in Toastmasters for public speaking is filler words. And so, but, like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and you click at the meeting every time someone says that.
You would
And
click,
it
like you
improves
clicked your
your
mouth?
speaking and quality.
No, it's like you guys have like a device, or what do you do?
A clicker.
It's
like
a
little
dog clicker.
Oh, a dog clicker.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then so my wife and I actually do this at home. When we're having a conversation, and if we have a filler word, we will click the other person.
Wow.
It's hilarious.
Wow.
That's funny.
I like that a lot.
Oh,
I try.
geez.
You know what's funny? And in the world, Brian and I, all three of us inhabit, I think about this all the time. Like, am I using too many ums and uhs and words that I fall back on too much? Like, I think that's the thing I actually think about a lot. So now you're going to make me super anal for this for the next 5 minutes.
Totally.
Very good. All right.
Excellent. All right. So who's first? Brian Dunaway, you're first, and I'm going to win. That's how this is going to work.
Oh, are you making a claim, or are you just repeating what he said?
I'm just repeating what he said, but I also.
Oh, you weren't like Babe Ruth in it, going, I'm going to hit it over the fence here. Okay, so I actually have a recent experience with food on a stick. We have every year we have this big festival where it's a barbecue festival, and they come to town, and there's always one thing that I like to get, and I hope these freaks over here like it as well. I like getting a chocolate banana on a stick,
Sure.
or a frozen banana on a stick.
Frozen banana on a stick dipped in flavors and rolled in nuts. Available at both Granny's Cheesecake and at Mini Melts Wonder Bars. So go to either of those two vendors, and you can get your frozen banana on a stick.
Pretty sure there's a couple of restaurants around here that do that. All right, I'm going to say first up for me is going to be oh shit! What was I just gonna say?
Yeah, I doubt they put shit on a stick, but it's a good idea.
Oh, I know. I just like a straight up caramel apple. They gotta have that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
An apple.
On a
You can
stick.
pick those over at the Root Beer Hut.
Okay.
A caramel apple.
Right.
Oh, actually,
we-
also at the another vendor whose name I won't say because it might give you a hint on another one. You can get batter dipped, deep fried apple on a stick.
Whoa.
Oh,
Sounds all right.
Hi.
By the way, my dad used to say rut beer, not root beer. Used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy neighbor says root.
He says root. Root.
Root.
Root
Yeah.
beer.
Root beer.
Root beer. Oh man.
Root beer. I
All
don't
right.
like it either.
We hate it. It's the
I don't
worst.
like it. I don't like it.
All right, Dunaway.
Well, I'm always torn between the frozen banana on a stick, which is the healthier option. I usually don't get it dipped; I just get it plain. But I'm always tempted to get the cheesecake on a stick, and you got to dip it in the chocolate, right?
Correct. But at Granny's Cheesecake, you get regular or dipped in chocolate, and at the Mini Melt place, you can get chocolate dipped cheesecake on a stick. So both places will give you your chocolate dipped cheesecake on a stick.
All right. I have one I know is such a stereotype at fairs, but I don't know if it's on a stick, so I'm not going to say it yet unless I get desperate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say at the Salt Lake County Fair one time I had a cherry pie on a stick. It was a whole slice of cherry
that's
pie.
hard. Oh, that's difficult. How do you
Yeah.
put a cherry pie on a stick?
And it was fried and everything. So I have to
that's
assume
interesting.
if we're doing it, they must have it there.
I'm going to give it to you. It's just say pie. Pie on a stick.
Oh, pie on a stick. Okay.
Yeah, don't make it specific.
Don't get so specific, Scott. You're gonna blow it. You're gonna blow it.
Out of this.
Okay.
Yes, at the key lime pie
Cheese,
bar, you can
cherry
get
pie on a stick.
a slice of key lime pie on a stick dipped in chocolate.
Okay. All right, we'll take that. I will get more. That's a good point. Actually, probably stay more general in this about the food.
There's
All right.
one that I am surprised isn't on this list. I'm gonna do a really quick search in his. Yeah. Okay. All right. Keep going.
Keep going, Don.
Keep going. I'm surprised it's not here.
Must
It's
not
gotta
be on a stick. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Well, So I'm kind of out of desserts on a stick because I can't remember anything else they had over there. I know they had some waffle cones and stuff, but I know that some fool was eating a pickle on a stick.
Sure.
And so is there a pickle? Is there a pickle on a stick?
You can get that at the Perfect Pickle vendor. A big, fat, crisp, and delicious pickle on a stick, not fried for you healthy types.
There's a fried one? Oh, but pickles would shrivel up. Well, I've had
Yeah.
pickled chips, I guess. So I guess you bread
deep
them.
fry.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. If you were to deep fry it, you could do it. Yep.
Now, you said earlier that corn doesn't count because it's got its own natural stick, but are we talking about the cob?
Yeah, we're talking about a cob is its own natural stick.
So no cream corn on a stick then? Just
no creamed corn on a stick.
All right, okay, just checking.
Because that is a thing, but I get the distinction. All right. How about a cotton candy is on a stick?
That's a great one because
It's more of a
because
tube.
you can get that anywhere. Not just at the Minnesota State Fair. Sure, of course. Let me find it here.
It's
I
more
had
of
it.
I kind of didn't do that one because I thought it was like paper cones usually. Isn't that kind of?
Depends on where you get it, but
It's still a stick, I guess. I guess it's
Yeah,
still a
still
stick.
Yeah.
Now I'm just
cotton candy-
envisioning. Now I'm just envisioning the people walking around the fair and thinking about what they're carrying and eating.
11 different vendors sell you cotton candy on a stick. So
Right.
Yeah. No shortage of options. Yes.
No shortage of cotton candy.
No shortage of cotton candy.
All right, Dunaway. It's on you now.
Now I'm just trying to think of food you can put on a stick.
That's a good. I'd do that.
Yeah,
Right? Because you had how many? 80 something?
Nice.
You can think of 71. So it's a good
71 after I
chance.
took out the tubular meats.
There's a good chance some moron, even though you don't need it, put a donut on a stick.
There is a very, very good chance of that.
Right.
However,
No, come on.
However,
Somebody
not-
put a donut on a stick.
no donut on a stick in this.
Oh.
We didn't even get to like Twinkie or any of those things that I was sure
Well,
we were
and
going to do.
I'm glad. So, what would have been your next one, Scott?
I would have said, cheese. I was going to do cheese.
I should have.
Some kind of,
Cheese! I had
Cheese,
that one
yes.
earlier and I totally forgot about that. Ah.
Yeah, you
coming.
can get cheese on a stick at Fried Swiss Cheese on a Stick, at Spaghetti
Chicken on
Eddie's,
a stick.
spaghetti.
and-
Wait. Spaghetti Eddie?
Spaghetti Eddie's,
I
and
love
the
that.
Minnesota wine country where you can get charcuterie on a stick. So it's veggies, cheese, and meat on a stick paired with wine.
At that point, you don't even need to call it charcuterie anymore because it's just food on a
telling
stick.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the whole list. This is great. Tuck in alligator, but that is I have it crossed out because it's Cajun flavored sausage on a stick. Bacon. It's a third pound of bacon grilled with maple syrup served with dipping sauce on a stick. Beef kebab. I don't know why you didn't go back to kebab because you.
I know. I thought it was kind of, since we already did, I thought you would say, oh, you already said that, Brian.
At Netherfields, you can get deep fried bologna on a stick. Of course, you get your hard candy, lollipops, taffy, deep fried candy bars, of course.
Those are so easy. Why didn't I think of that?
A Rice Krispie bar on a stick. Scott mentioned cheese. There's chicken on a stick that are just like spiced grilled chicken, like your teriyaki on a stick chicken. Cookie dough. Deep fried cookie dough on a stick.
Dough. Is there
Just in
Oreo on
case-
a stick?
Just in case you need those arteries to really close up quickly. Let me see if we got Oreos. Egg roll. Then all your bananas. You got your strawberries. I don't know how you do grapes on a stick, but somebody batter dipped deep fried grapes on a stick.
Oh my gosh.
Strawberries, bananas, peaches, cherries, pears.
Ooh,
And
pear
then-
sounds good.
Your fruit kebab. A gyro on a stick from the Holy Land.
Oh, that sounds so
sounds
good.
good.
Ugh.
That sounds good.
Ice cream on a stick from Granny's Cheesecake. As you can guess, it's sliced ice cream on a stick dipped in chocolate rolled in nuts.
It's always rolled in nuts, isn't it?
Always
Can you
rolled in
roll it in
nuts.
nuts? Roll it in nuts.
Yep.
At Luigi's, you can get a hot doggo, which is an Italian sandwich on a stick. It's a skewer of mini breadsticks and adequate meatballs. They use the word adequate. Adequate meatballs, served with decent marinara and a generous pile of real hot peppers on the end on a stick.
What are
peppers on a stick. That makes sense.
What's the porta potty situation like at the Minnesota State Fair?
No, they actually have porta potties on a stick over there.
Sounds really rough. Sounds like a rough time.
Lobster, deep fried lobster on a stick, deep fried mashed potatoes.
Oh,
on a stick,
what?
served with sour cream or gravy.
What?
Now
Meatballs.
this is not on a stick, but everybody always piles up for the funnel cake. Is that you
Not
guys
on a
have funnel
stick.
cake?
Not on a stick.
We have funnel cake, but not on a stick.
Yeah.
Nut rolls, olives, pizza, pepperoni pizza on a stick, charbor, that's pork chop, kebab, salmon, scallops.
How do you keep salmon on a stick?
I don't know, because when you cook salmon, it gets really
just falls
flaky and hard to
flaky,
manage.
yeah.
I guess you deep fry it and roll it in nuts. Scotch eggs, shrimp, of course, spaghetti and meatballs. Don't know how you do spaghetti and meatballs on a stick, but somebody.
Oh, I can
figured
see
out how
that.
to
You
do
could
it.
twirl because you could twirl the spaghetti. I could see that. That's actually
Sure.
That's actually pretty smart.
Tacos, 2 stuffed tacos, 1 filled with green chorizo and potatoes, 1 filled with a vegetarian black bean and corn mix, deep fried, topped with crumbled cheese and a drizzle of guacamole
And then
salsa,
rolled in nuts.
and rolled in nuts. Here's my favorite:
Okay.
tater tot hot dish. It's
Oh.
tater tot hot dish on a stick with cream of mushroom dipping sauce.
Wow. Okay.
There you go.
I'd eat that.
Big thanks to Lon Koenig for putting together this list.
You know, I'm not that surprised. He's the man that brought us cheese curds at Nerdtacular multiple years. So that dude knows is bad for us to eat food, but still awesome food. That's awesome. And that means congratulations, William. You've done it. You picked right, which means you've won these prizes. You just got to get in contact with Brian at coverville@gmail.com, and he will hook you up. How do you feel? Tell us how you feel after your victory.
It is so exciting. Thank you guys very, very much.
Always a pleasure.
And if you mentioned my phone quality, if you look up Blue Parrot B450, it is a Bluetooth headset that I'm on.
Sounds
and
really
it's got
good.
noise canceling technology built in that's really good.
Yeah, this is the best
anyway.
sounding call I ever had with anyone on a Bluetooth device. I think this is pretty solid.
Yeah,
for sure.
So truckers use it for when they're in their trucks and they have loud engines.
Oh yeah, the loud engines and the farting and the whatnot. That would all make sense
Oh, yeah.
as well.
This really cuts down on the farting.
It really does.
Everything
So-
I own says truckers use it.
Yeah,
That's
everything,
everything I have.
you have. Okay.
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
of everything you have, Brian Dunaway, of course, the Brian Dunaway on Twitter. He's on the Boop Show with me. We put one up on Monday. It was a fantastic time. Really enjoyed it, and it's worth checking out if you haven't heard it yet. That's over at frogpants.com/BOOP. Anything else you want to mention, Brian?
Sure, I'll be playing No Man's Sky tonight on Twitch. If you want to tune in, I'll be doing that for a couple hours, giving away some game codes. And by the way, I may have lost the contest today, but my new franchise idea of Donut on a Stick is hot and ready to go.
Yeah, you let
And
us
rolled in nuts.
rolled in
Hot,
nuts.
fresh, deep fried, and rolled in nuts.
Let us know how it goes for you. We'd like to be in on the ground floor. Brian Dunaway, everybody. Brian Dunaway. All right. Well, we have time for a little bit of news, and so we're going to do it now.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive sensational summary of world and local events.
Time for the news, brought to you by.
Brought to you by Coverville today at 1 p.m. As you might have guessed, tributes today for Eddie Money and Rick Ocasek of the Cars, or Ocasek or Ocasek, however you want to pronounce it. He said every way is fine with him. We'll also get a set in tribute for Bruce Springsteen's birthday. Cars and Bruce Springsteen, I've done 4 or 5 shows total for those guys this year because the Cars were inducted in the Hall of Fame. Rick Ocasek turned 70 or 75, depending on where you look. And Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA celebrated an anniversary. So a little bit of a greatest hits on a couple of those. So, but new stuff that you haven't heard yet on the show.
Nice.
Today, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville.
That's great. You should play
Yeah.
the Nobody Picks Their Bum song a lot.
Don't let nobody pick your bum.
Shake it up. And then you shake up your bum.
Yes. Right. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. All right. Well, that's awesome. Let's get right to a couple of stories here. We have time for at least 2, I think. Maybe more. So
Okay.
this was sent to us by, like, I don't know, 8
Yeah,
tadpoolers.
1,000?
Yeah, because they were like, hey, I don't know if I've ever seen a headline that better fits what you guys do on the show, and I don't know how to feel about that, but okay, I'll go ahead and read it. Massive, this is the actual headline, this isn't me. Massive semen explosion after blaze hits bull artificial insemination facility. The firefighters forced to dodge projectiles.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what that means. The projectile.
Yeah.
Part. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing the first few front rows are splash zones, so take a parka.
Yeah, you gotta bring
You need
a poncho so you're at a Gallagher concert.
Right. At SeaWorld, yeah.
Massive semen explosion. That's right, you heard it. Huge fire at the cattle breeding facility in Australia has caused thousands of dollars in damage and at least 100 cylinders containing bull semen to be destroyed. That's a lot of bull semen. It actually represents a lot of money. It's a lot of money tied up in that.
Yeah, it's expensive stuff because it's, prime. This is for people who show cattle and want to have the best cattle for breeding and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
If you want to make new ones, you got to have the semen. That's what I heard. Anyway, emergency services were called to the blaze early in the hours in Victoria, which is, it's part of the Yarram Herd Services in Gippsland in Victoria, Australia. According to the ABC, that's the Australian Broadcasting Company, it took 10 fire crews more than 2 hours to fully extinguish the fire after it broke out around 3 a.m. It's always in the morning. It's always some weird, awful time like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, these things, why can't these things happen in the afternoon?
Right, right. Why does it have to happen in the middle of the night when everyone's trying to sleep?
Exactly.
Let's see, the spokesman from the County Fire Authority told the Daily Mail Australia that the fire had completely shredded the building. County Fire Authority Commander Chris Loshenkol, probably.
Loshenkol.
Said the crew had to be very wary of what they called, quote-unquote, projectiles coming at them while they tackled the blaze. The liquid inside the cylinders was rapidly expanding, and essentially the lids of the cryogenic cylinders were just popping off and becoming projectiles. So it was the lids, really, they were trying to dodge.
Yeah, the lids. Yeah, exactly.
Firefighters went into defensive mode initially to protect themselves because they were LPG cylinders at the neighboring property, and they did a magnificent job, meaning if it had gotten to the neighboring property, you would have had even a bigger problem. He added that he has never had anything like this happen before during his entire career. Yeah, it seems like kind of a one-off, You can have bull semen everywhere. It's the one time you're going to see it. Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, right next door to this place is a rabbit egg place, for infertile eggs, or not infertile, I guess fertile eggs to be stored for rabbits. And unfortunately,
we couldn't have any rabbits.
Yeah.
Here's a story for you from a weird thing. This is a weird deal.
Yeah. This is really sad too.
Teenager's memory resets every 2 hours because she was kicked in the head. This means that she wakes up every day, or it wakes up thinking every day is June 11th. It's basically Groundhog Day without the humor.
Groundhog Day and Memento.
Yeah, a little Memento, that's true. A teenager wakes up every morning thinking it's the 11th of June as her memory resets every 2 hours after she was kicked in the head. Her name is Riley Horner. She's 16, has no recollection of the day she suffered the traumatic head injury before she was hit by a student crowd surfing at a dance. So this is the problem with dances. Don't go to those dances. She woke up
You're gonna get kicked in the head and lose your memory.
She's a former athlete and student from Illinois in the U.S. She now has to keep detailed notes and photos with her all the time, which is very that other movie you mentioned, Memento.
Yeah. Well, also in 50 First Dates. If I don't mention 50 First Dates, 11 more people in the chat room are going to mention 50 First Dates.
Yeah, great. Let's have them just keep saying, let's keep flooding the chat with 50 First Dates. I never saw that movie. Was it any good? Was it okay?
It is you probably, without seeing that movie, could write that movie. It's Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore. She has no memory. He falls in love with her, and hilarity ensues because she can't make any new memories.
Wow. Well, then it sounds like a riot. I should rent that immediately.
Yes. Oh, please hurry. Don't wait.
Says here, every time the timer goes off, Riley reads back over her notes to remind herself of everything she just learned but had forgotten, including where her locker is. I have a calendar on my door, and I look at it, and it's September, and I'm like, whoa. People just don't understand. It's like a movie she added, like where I have no recollection of this interview come supper time. So that's really interesting. But what makes it more interesting to me is that she knows. It's a kind of memory to know that you don't have the memory. Do you know what I mean?
Well, or is it? I mean, does she wake up in the morning and be like, all right, June 11th, and then she sees the note on the door saying, nope, it's September, and you don't remember that it's not June anymore, and here's why you don't remember it.
I guess enough times it happens, you become like Data in that episode where they're playing poker in the beginning, and by the end of the episode, everything explodes. Abandoned ship, and then everything explodes and then resets. It's a bit like that. Yeah. She's done enough of this long enough that somehow something must be ringing regular, because she's like, well, now I've got the calendar on the door. She didn't just learn that, or did she just learn that today?
No. Well, I think once she's got family probably that said, told her what happened and helped her set up her room so that she's got her notes and her calendar and stuff to say, here's what you need to do when you wake up. You're not going to remember any of this, so you need to have notes that explain what's going on.
But because she doesn't remember that, does she wake up and go, oh, what are these? Oh, notes?
Right, probably. What? Yeah. Oh, why do I have a note next to my bed?
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's how I would take this, take the way that she described it.
Isn't it ironic that the brain almost broke into song there for a second? Did you hear that?
You did.
But isn't it ironic that the brain is the thing we know the least about, yet it's the brain where we keep all our knowledge, yet we have no knowledge of the thing where we keep all our knowledge? It's crazy.
Sure. It's because it doesn't work on a mechanical basis like our bones. Oh, we know how the bones work because, all right, they bend here and here they hinge and da-da-da-da. It's really easy to see how the bones work. The brain is such a unlocking the brain is just such a mystery. I guess it's not a complete and total mystery. We know some things, but like where new memories are stored versus where your long-term, like she doesn't have to relearn motor skills or speech or things like that.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
She can't make, she's based, I think, was it the medulla oblongata or something is where you make new memories or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
she's got, her ROM is okay. It's her RAM that is the problem.
Yes. Random access memory is RAM. What is ROM? I forgot.
ROM is the read-only memory. Read-only memory.
Read-only memory. Yeah. It's like storage, basically. Her hard drive's good. Yeah.
Her hard drive's fine, but her RAM is bad.
Yeah, except the hard drive's not writing any new data, which is crazy.
Right.
Actually, I guess her RAM's okay. It's just that her RAM gets cleared every 2 hours.
Right. Exactly.
And it's her RAM, and the RAM's not sending it to the drive.
The hippocampus. That's right. The hippocampus, is that where the
that's where all the hippos go for school. They're going to get degrees.
Exactly. That's where the new memories are stored. Like the so her hippocampus is faulty.
Yeah. Faulty. But also in the chat they said it's not ironic that all of our knowledge is kept in a thing we have very little knowledge about. That is the definition of irony. That's totally ironic.
Yeah. It's not a fly in your Chardonnay.
Those things that she says are not ironic.
It's not a free ride when you've already paid.
It's not the opposite of irony. How is it the opposite, Bagheera, says Bagheera74? It can't be the opposite. It's ironic that the one device in our body that holds all our knowledge and information is actually the part of the body we have the least amount of information or knowledge about. That's irony. Right. That's irony in stone. That's irony, right?
That's what I say. I feel like maybe it's dramatic irony and not literal irony. I remember that was another thing. Like, there's the definition of dramatic irony. I think Alanis Morissette was trying to say, no, this is more dramatic irony and not literal irony.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to take this to the internet. We're going to have to get a definitive answer on this because Bagheera's not the.
It's like waking up and it's always June. Find notes that explain your doom.
Oh my gosh! All right. Yeah, we have time for one more. Hey,
all right.
You wanna speaking of dumb things you should never put in your mouth that you get at the fair. Here's one.
Yeah.
Japan now has a giant pizza sandwich called Meat Mountain, and it's packed with 18 different kinds of meat.
Look at that photo! Oh
Yeah,
my God!
it's so gross. I mean, even
is it deep fried and rolled in nuts, Scott?
may as well be. Here, chat. I'll show you a photo. Look at that thing.
I mean, it's a pizza on top of it's a meat pizza on top of a meat pizza
With a ton of meat. Just
with a ton of meat. Yes.
Meat lovers, meat haters, doesn't matter who you are, you have to admit that is a lot of freaking meat.
I wonder if there's a list of the meats on here, because then I could, I could use it as a. Oh, here, yeah, it does have a list. I'm not going to use this as Babel Royale, but all right. So the top pizza.
Yeah.
Do you already have this in your?
Yeah, I have the photo up.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Top pizza has your beef steak, hamburger patty pieces, pork loin, Iberian bacon. Love that Iberian bacon, diced bacon, sliced bacon, bacon bits, Bavarian sausage, pepperoni, mini wiener sausages, pork sausages, and Italian sausages.
Wow.
The bottom pizza contains Wagyu beef ribs, chicken, deluxe minced meat, meat in a spicy sauce. It's the only meat that they don't explain what it is. Taco meat and dry cured ham.
Wow. I mean, I'd try it, but you can't eat that. You're gonna die. Don't eat it.
I decided I'm going to quit my job and become a sumo wrestler. Here's where you start.
And people are always surprised that Japan does these things, but they are famous for the weird over the top food like this. Like everyone thinks, oh, that sounds like America or something, or the Heart Attack Grill or whatever. But Japan is nuts about it. They love doing these weird things. Like
sometimes Japan can out America.
Yeah, good job, Japan. We know what your secret ingredient is. All right, that's gonna do it for today's stories. Just take a bite out of a cow. We are going to take a break. When we come back, Tom will be here. We're gonna do a little Tom sex time. We do have sex time. Did I just say Tom sex time? I think I did.
Did you really?
I think I said Tom's sex time. Tom's tech time.
Tom's sex tech time.
Jeez Louises. Then we're going to do recommendals without Nicole. She can't be here today. She got stuff, but Brian and I are going to do it without her. And we also have another bonus mashup, apparently inspired by something Brian said, I think. So we're going to...
if it's the thing that he was talking about on Facebook yesterday, then it's both of us, and I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, I just looked at the title of it. I haven't actually looked yet. It's called the... See, this has to be about you more, though, because it's the Morrissey edition. That's the name of it. So, excuse me. We'll see what that is when we get around to it. In the meantime, a song. Brian will now present a song.
All right. Here, get ready to hear the Schizophonics. These guys, apparently, according to Us and Them, the label, thank you guys, Dave Clifford over there at Us and Them for sending this over, hailed by everyone who sees them as one of the best live bands ever, like the MC5, James Brown, and ATDI. These guys apparently really rock the house when they perform live. Their studio stuff is fantastic too, as you're about to hear. They're from San Diego. They're called the Schizophonics. They have their sophomore album is coming out at the end of October. Yes, you get to hear a song today. You get to hear a song from the Schizophonics today, and that song is down here. Is Battle Line from the brand new album People in the Sky from the Schizophonics. Here is Battle Line.
So always follow the Colgate way to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and stop tooth decay best.
The Morning Stream. Sweep the leg.
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. Let's see here. Little Ace Detect in Our Lives coming up.
Yes.
And I'm going to play the proper intro today. Not that poorly chosen intro where it was definitely not his.
Not Jury's intro, basically?
No. I think we'll do the real one this week.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
That man is Tom Merritt. As always, on Wednesday. Tom, good morning and welcome.
Well, I feel like you've overpromised sex time to people, so I'm not sure.
I was just wondering. I was just hoping. Maybe Tom's not here and didn't hear that yet. But nope, you were there.
A little bit of clickbait.
Yes, right. Well, we overpromise. It's time to underdeliver.
Time to always overpromise and under. Wait a minute.
That's wrong. Why don't we? Maybe we're missing all the money on the table, and you just need to do Tom's Sex Time podcast. And
yeah, should we finally just sell out?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
The other problem with that is I'm not sure that I could actually do a very good segment.
Oh, I want to know what it sounds like, though.
Don't sell yourself short, Tom.
Don't knock it until you tried it, Tom.
I guess so. Well, it's always good to have you here. It's Wednesday. That means tech thoughts are heavy on my mind because I'm on the Daily Tech News Show as a regular on Wednesday. And as a result, Tom's always up early, scouring the world for the latest in tech headlines. What's going on this morning?
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, I host the Daily Tech Headlines at dailytechheadlines.com on Wednesdays. So usually right after TMS, I record it, which means I've been researching it right up to the time. And we've got a few really interesting stories in the news this morning. Do you want to hear about Facebook's new camera it wants to put in your living room? Or do you want to hear about Facebook's glasses that they want to replace smartphones with? Or do you want to hear about Facebook's personal Supreme Court that they want to set up?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, jeez.
You've really torn me on. A and C are both really interesting to me. Let's go with A because there's no way they're putting a camera in my living room. Or maybe they are.
Well, there is no way.
Amazon did.
I guess
yeah,
so.
I was going to say, unless you spend the money for $149 on a Portal TV. Portal TV is not a television, hooks up to your television. And if you know about the Facebook Portal devices, it's basically that, except without the screen because they want you to hook it up to your TV. So it connects by HDMI, includes, Messenger, Facebook, and Prime Video, Stars, Pluto TV, Spotify. It's got some apps on it. Not a full Roku replacement by any stretch, but they try to throw some stuff out there. But what they're mostly pitching it for is making video calls. And if you don't know, Facebook Portal includes some nice AI that works really well, where it's got this 120-degree field of view, and it can focus in on people so that you're not just seeing the wide view all the time. When dad's talking, you see dad, and then it'll move to grandma, even though it's just pulling it out of the one screen.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
That is kind of interesting, I guess. I mean, is this an announcement or a thing someone discovered?
Yeah, this is $149, available November 5th for the Portal TV. And then they updated the Facebook Portal devices, which are 8-inch and 10-inch little desktop devices. So the 8-inch Portal Mini is now a smaller version and cheaper, $129. The 10-inch Portal is $179, and they also knocked off the price of the Facebook Swivel, which is like one that's kind of like a mini TV.
Interesting. Okay, well then I have to know about the Supreme Court thing then, because that sounds insane to me. I mean, is this just like an internal review board and everyone's calling it something else?
An external review board, actually. It's Facebook's independent oversight board. It will start with at least 11 members, but they want to have up to 40. And Facebook names the members, but has created a trust fund that the members will be paid out of. So the idea is that Facebook wouldn't be able to exert influence because they're not Facebook employees. They'd be paid out of this trust. And it would be for moderation of content on Facebook that has gone through all the layers of Facebook's internal appeals and stuff. You can appeal if your post gets pulled down right now, and they're not changing that. But if you exhaust all that and there's still a disagreement about the post, Facebook can choose to submit the dispute to the independent oversight board. And then the oversight board can choose whether it wants to hear it. They don't have to hear everything that Facebook submits to it. So it works a little like a Supreme Court in that once a case is submitted, the board will decide whether it wants to hear it or not. And if it doesn't hear it, then the decision stands wherever it was before it was submitted.
Interesting. So in your estimation, does this help quell some of the concerns everyone always has about how things are done internally, how decisions are made? Does this make that more transparent? Like, what good does this do them on the PR front, since that's been a little bit of a rough place for them lately?
TBD. On the one hand, it's way better than having an internal review, right? They're going to be very transparent about who they appoint, and that will make a lot of progress towards whether people believe in this oversight board, the kind of people that they appoint. The deliberations of the board will be public, while protecting any private information that's part of the complaint. But the actual, the decisions and how they come to their decisions will be transparent. They say so. That should help too if people see those deliberations and are able to say, well, it does look like they're not just acting in the interest of Facebook. But honestly, I feel like this is just mostly Facebook saying we want to be seen doing the right thing. This isn't going to impact most people's lives because Facebook's saying we expect them to handle about a dozen cases a year based on ones that will be precedent setting for others. So it's a lot about optics in that sense. Now, granted, the Supreme Court of the United States and the Supreme Court in most countries only handle a few cases a year that are precedent setting. So, that's not crazy, but I don't know. I feel like there's a better way than having to go to these lengths. But if you're going to go to these lengths, I guess this is a good way to do it.
I'm looking forward to being able to watch the moderations and the deliberations live. Where they're going through and saying, all in favor of Katie's picture of her sandwich, please give us the thumbs up sign. All against, please make the crying sad face.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it, dude. Also
on your Facebook portal TV, you'll be watching.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Exactly. So here's a thought though. They're going to do this. I mean, we're going to be able to see this, right? We'll be able to watch this streamed or whatever.
I mean, they haven't said anything about video streaming, but they have said the deliberations will be public. So why wouldn't they?
Yeah,
right?
You might just get to read them.
Yeah,
it'll be on Facebook Live, of course.
Yeah, they should. But if they do, are they gonna? What decorum is there? Are we wearing robes? Are we on high podiums?
Good question.
Are
we
doing any? Are we going
probably
any of that or
ceremonial hoodies would be my guess.
Perfect. Oh, I love the idea of ceremonial hoodies, or at the very least, I just want somebody ceremonial. Yeah, I wouldn't
with
mind.
Powdered hoods.
Do you think we can get like a bailiff to come out and bring it to order? And I want all that pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, like a moderator.
Yeah.
A moderator comes out and says, "All rise for the Honorable Independent Oversight Board."
I'm into all this. This all sounds good.
Click for the
all click. Hearts just start appearing.
Yeah, they start floating off to the side. This is a great idea. All right. Well, this and so much more will certainly be on display later today on the Daily Tech News Show, 2:30 Mountain Time is when that goes live, or you can join a little early and catch some bonus stuff as well. Tom Merritt, anything else happening you want to mention?
Well, yes, indeed. In fact, if you like that very same Daily Tech News Show, we've got some new rewards coming. We've announced them Monday, so now's the time to get in on the Patreon because the new rewards will start coming in October 1st. The new rewards will be posted, so check it out, patreon.com/DTNS.
Nice. Ace Detect on Twitter. Tom Merritt, everybody. We'll see you a little bit later. Bye.
Thank you, Tom.
Always.
I'm going to be listening in to Tom as he coaches the contestants on ANTP today.
Oh, is that today?
That's today. Yeah, this afternoon. He does their little meeting.
That show is like a full-time gig, dude. You know that.
For me, it really is. I know.
It's like a lot. I'm impressed.
It is a lot. It's a lot of work.
I'm super impressed. It's like, I don't know how you're doing it, to be honest. I mean, part of my problem, people always say that to me. I don't know how you do all the stuff you do. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of if I had to add that volume of new thing to me, I would die. I'd have to cut 5 shows to do it. But somehow Brian's eking it out. I don't know how you're doing it. But that's great.
Yeah, I mean, coordinating guests, getting the contestants recorded and stuff like that, and of course Hammond has to do all that editing.
Poor guy.
Yep.
He'll be okay.
He'll be fine.
All right. Well, now it's time for this thing. I'll play your intro anyway, because why not? Nicole is not here, but we're going to talk about movies anyway. Not movies necessarily. It could be other stuff. Could be even this.
Bad gay movies.
Could be bad gay movies. I don't know.
Could be bad gay movies. This is true.
Thanks for poking your head in there, Todd. We are going to do recommendals. We recommend stuff we've seen on streaming services. Brian always starts with his clip. Do you have any setup for this?
I do. This is a true story. True story.
All about how life took a thing upside down. All right, let's see. I lost my file of yours. Why? Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go, everybody. I'm going to play it, and we're going to see what we got here. So check it out.
Something going on in the church?
Oh, yeah.
You mind if I take a look? I love how everything is so cute. All the little flowers and the mailbox and these cute little curtains. It's just all the details. Oh my God! What are they doing? Who are they?
They're Nazis. Torturing Hoagie.
Why?
They hate him
Because he's an American?
because he's different.
Is that Steve Carell?
That is Steve Carell and Leslie Mann.
Oh, Leslie Mann, I love her. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know what
she's
this
great.
is. Hold on, let me bang my head around a little. Hold on, let me think.
Okay. Bang your head around a little bit.
Recent film?
Yes, 2018 film. Robert Zemeckis film.
Oh, he's the weird plasticky looking guy.
Yeah, more or less correct. Yes, he's.
I don't
the
remember.
movie is Welcome to Marwen.
Oh, that's what
and
it is.
he plays a guy named Mark Hogenkamp, who is, and this is all based on a true story. He's a guy who got beaten severely in 2000 by some guys in a bar as he was walking out of a bar because he happened to like putting on women's shoes. That's really the only reason. Beaten nearly to death, and kind of along the same lines, they kicked every memory out of his head, as Steve Carell's character keeps saying in the movie. And his
I've seen this documentary.
Yes, the documentary came out in 2010, and tells the story about this guy. And this movie came out last year, the kind of dramatization of it. But basically, his therapy that he's given himself is to create this little world, this little Belgian town called Marwen, populated with like G.I. Joe and Barbie style dolls. And he photographs them. He puts them into, like wartime positions and things like that. And he's basically this character of this fighter pilot who crashes down in Belgium in this town of Marwen, meets these women who also live in the town and have these World War II adventures together. It is absolutely, it's such a sweet film. Sadly reminds me a lot of The Fisher King, and kind of that Robin Williams sad story that kind of, makes him create this fantasy world to live in.
Sure. It's like a
little bit of Big Fish as well.
Oh, I love it. I was going to say Big Fish is also very much that. It's you need to create a bigger fantasy to live in to escape the reality of your existence or whatever. Yeah.
But the toy work is I mean the CGI toys are amazing. I mean they totally make it look like the characters who are doing their voices. And you've got Leslie Mann, you've got Merritt Weaver from Nurse Jackie. She's amazing, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
her.
You were going to laugh after I tell you my recommendation. Keep going.
Okay, Gwendolyn Christie, Brienne of Tarth is in this doing a Russian accent, and it's so mind-blowing to see her doing something that isn't Game of Thrones. Janelle Monáe, the singer, a lot of people doing this, and the special effects are amazing. The story is it's sad and sweet and really, really good. This is currently streaming on HBO.
Okay.
HBO Go, HBO Now, whichever one you have.
All right. And Max coming soon, I guess it would be on.
And
that.
Max coming soon. Marwen Call is the documentary, and if you can find that, it's streaming in a few places, but none of the regular things we talk about. So it's streaming on the Criterion channel, it's streaming on Canopy, it's streaming on, is that what, Puffin? Looks like a little penguin.
Puffin? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't recognize the icon. Oh, Fandor? Maybe Fandor is what that's called. And Mubi, MUBI, which is an Amazon add-on that you can get. So that's where you can see the documentary if you want to. But the bit of the documentary that I've seen perfectly captures, or the movie perfectly captures the little bit of the documentary that I've seen.
Nice. All right. I'll watch it. I remember seeing posters. That's why I said Plasticky Man, because the poster makes him look like an action figure, but I never knew what it was about.
Yeah.
And I'll have to check it out. All right. Here is mine. This is ironic that you brought up Merritt Weaver. Or Merritt Weaver,
really?
rather.
Merritt Weaver, yeah.
Because she is awesome.
She was in that, what was the Western thing, the Women Town?
Godless. Amazing in Godless.
Godless.
Yeah.
So good,
She was really good. Well, she's also in this thing I'm about to play a trailer for. It's a Netflix original series. And here you go.
I know this is hard, but I need to ask you some questions about what happened.
He tied my hands. He said if I screamed, he'd kill me.
No signs of forced entry. Doors and windows were locked. No DNA. Not a single neighbor saw or heard a thing.
He brought a blindfold, but nothing to tie her with. Would a shoelace even hold her?
You think Marie made up the attack?
I'm pretty positive that it happened.
All right. Any guesses?
The chat room is saying unbelievable. I've seen the little tag screen for it, but I have no idea what it's about or that it contains a Merritt Weaver. Is that what it is?
Yes, it is called Unbelievable. It is some heavy stuff, and it feels incredibly important that I recommend it. There are parts of it that are hard to watch. There are parts of it that do not flinch from the very real impact of sexual assault against women. And the show, it's a series. I'm only 2 episodes in, and I'm already ready to give this like highest possible recommendation.
Wow.
I think that in particular, to gain a greater understanding of the trauma that is emotional and mental, I think men everywhere, regardless of who you are, should watch this. I think it is a really, really eye-opening, honest portrayal of a whole lot of stuff. Merritt Weaver plays this detective, and she doesn't even show up till episode 2. She's not even in the whole first episode. The first episode is all about the event for our main character and then the aftermath of it, and how everybody has good intentions with this stuff. If somebody is harmed in this horrible way, everybody has the right intentions. The detectives have the right intentions. The cops do. They're not portrayed as evil people or as villains or as unfeeling individuals. They just don't know what they're doing sometimes. Like, they don't realize how deep and dark this stuff can get, or where the mindset is. They just aren't educated. And I'll tell you what really throws me is one of these detectives is played by the guy who does Patrick on SpongeBob. Dauber from Coach. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And he is so infuriating, not because he's a bad person or he's portraying a bad person, but because he just doesn't really get it. They don't get that having 2 older, stern-looking, seasoned veteran detectives in a room alone with this girl who's been victimized with a past that makes it even worse. They don't understand what that alone is doing to her mentally. It's just something else, man. Like, there's an honesty to this thing that is just crazy. It feels special. It feels important, and I think people should watch it. So I'm only
Probably
2 in.
something that's going to come back around come award time too. It sounds like.
Oh, I 100% think this thing wins all sorts of stuff, and it should. I just got to the end of season or episode 2, and now Toni Collette is all up in this thing.
Oh, really? Muriel.
Yeah. So a bunch of people who I don't expect to see are just kind of popping up. They're really great actors and actresses that I just have a lot of respect for in general. But it is really, really important stuff. It's a hard watch. Don't get me wrong, and somebody who maybe has been involved in an actual assault, this may be too much. I don't know.
Oh, right, sure.
I don't know, but I also think it is incredibly cathartic as a honest thing to talk about. I've talked to a couple of friends of mine who are in the community. I'm not going to use any names, but people who've experienced assault themselves, and they say this is the closest anything has ever gotten to getting it right, and to really truly expressing how this stuff feels, how your life is altered, how it feels like everyone is turning on you, even though you're the victim, yet you're somehow seen as the person who's victimizing other people. If you decide to lie your way out of it, or you think that maybe the best thing to do would be, well, I'll just say I made it up because then it'll all go away.
Oh,
but then
right.
what that means, like how that affects you when you're made the victim twice, like
sure.
you're a victim multiple times over. Like, it's really something, and it just feels important. I don't know why it feels so important to me. It just does. So can't recommend it enough. I will continue through the whole thing and finish this. I assume it's like 10 episodes. I haven't actually looked, but again, Netflix. It's called Unbelievable, and is really something so far. There's a matter of factness to the way that it's presented that doesn't feel like I'm getting yanked around in a movie kind of way. I'm not being manipulated by music. I'm not being manipulated by drama. I'm just being put in what feels like, and it feels like I'm just in the scenario, and I can feel those feelings and those emotions, and it's really something. So can't recommend it enough. Please watch it. It's very good. Cool. All right. Well, there's your recommendals for the day. Now let's do something silly.
All right. Silly. I like silly.
I do too. It's a good time to get silly. And here it is. We're going to play a mashup. I guess this was created yesterday by Jamie.
Right.
TMS Mashups on Twitter. And it's called the Morrissey Edition. So suck it in. Here it is. This is very different than you're used to. It's not easy being green.
Heaven knows I'm miserable now.
I haven't had a normal poo in months. I'm constipated. Faceless, genderless person in a coma. I know.
I went out for a job and I found a job. And heaven knows I'm miserable now.
That is so it. Sail on peanuts on aisle 4.
And heaven knows Kellogg's cereals are
half off only this week.
And we're miserable now. Butcher's in a coma, I know it's serious. A very sensitive button. Don't try to press it, cause it hurts, and I don't want to hurt anymore. Hampton on the coast of New Hampshire.
I know.
Kicking a seagull with my cheeseburger.
It's
Kick the seagull, kick the seagull, kick the seagull. Kick the seagull, kick the seagull.
I took my cheeseburger, kick the seagull. What the heck, dude?
Oh my god, I didn't realize we've dipped into that well that much. Holy cow.
Way more than I thought. He must have been tracking that I don't know how he's remembering to go find these things. I don't know how he does it. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
But well done, Jamie. Well done. All right. What else? That's it. Let's do our leave. Let's leave. Let's be done.
Take our leave.
Don't forget, you can support what we do here on the show at our Patreon, patreon.com/TMS. I showed these yesterday. I'll do them again. Look at there's Hodor with Bran on his back.
Those cards are awesome.
Yeah, very nice quality. People really like these, I think, if they give them a shot.
They're like on a throne of G.
Yeah, they're on a throne of G.
Is what they're sitting.
Well, the original art actually has a GOT, but
okay.
They're the center of it, so I figured I'd make them the crop. But
gotcha.
Anyway, how else are you going to get original art every month? I know. Sign up for the patreon.com/TMS patron thing and support us and get one of these in the mail, plus other cool stuff. Go check it out. And we're redoing some of the levels and things. You guys never got us to our game show thing, so we're going to rework it. We're going to come up with some other cool little mixes and matches and stuff. So there's that.
Yeah, you all don't want a game show. You've all had enough of Frog Pants All-Stars, I guess. Okay. Okay.
Just going to force Brian to make his own reality show about another thing because, well.
Exactly, yes.
So don't worry. We have some cool stuff coming. That's the thing. All right, that's frogpants.com/TMS for everything else, including a link to that if you're looking for it. You can also leave us voicemails at 801-471-0462. And we'd love your email feedback, please. themorningstream@gmail.com. That's themorningstream@gmail.com. We'll now leave you with a song in your heart and mind, but Brian has to unpackage it and throw it on the ground.
Let me pull the protective seal off of this thing. Okay, I'm reading it. Oh, here we go. Ooh, great. I love that new request smell. This one comes to us from Sylvie, who says, I'm about to make a big change in my life. I'm in the process of finding a new job and leaving my teaching job. I'm burned out. and need to make a change to find my happiness again. I could use encouragement to make this change. I trust the cover master to choose a fitting song. Thanks for everything. Insert a funny jury clip here. Signed, Sylvie.
Oh, a funny jury clip.
Jury clip.
Let's do one we don't always do. Let's see.
Oh, yeah?
Here we go.
Why did I get your mass text?
No.
You're in my contacts.
I could hear you in the background trying to say something. That was funny.
Oh, like, no.
Yeah. Or here's another one.
I think this is that bleep blop bloop.
I always like it when he does that. It's pretty good. Or this one.
No, I mean, I guess.
Anyway, there you go. 3 humorous jury quotes. Well done.
Awesome. Love it. All right. So Sylvie said that one of her favorite bands is Young the Giant. I've got a Young the Giant cover, and I'm going to play it for you right now. This was recorded for the Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies album by the band Volbeat. They're covering Young the Giant, great song called My Body.
Ooh, My Body.
My Body.
How can we do that without playing My Body? We have to play it.
We have to play My Body.
All right, here you go.
My body.
There you go. Thanks,
My
Troy.
Body.
Thanks.
Thank you, Deanna Troy, for setting up this clip.
She's truly the best. All right, here's your song. Enjoy it. We'll see you guys next time. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
I don't know anything about women.
Oh, I wouldn't admit that, but okay. Whatever.
That's on the record now.
You be who you gotta be. All right, I'm gonna.
Do we really? Do any of us though? Isn't it ironic that the thing that we know the least about are the things that create half of us?
I don't know.
Create all of us.
Ask Bagheera.
The half of us that create all of us.
That's right. Ask Bagheera if it's ironic. He seems to think it isn't ironic. Just kidding, Bagheera. You're great. All right. Hey, we're gonna do what